Hello there. For some of you, this is going to be your first update from me. And for others, this is technically your second. For some people, I made like an entire apartment tour and like first update where I was yapping the day before my first day of my program, and then I did another clip last weekend, so it was after the first week of classes. But if this is the first update that you're getting from me, then hi. I decided that I'm gonna start making some update videos for anyone who wants them. And it's hard to, I guess, keep up with everyone separately. I'm just gonna like yap and then put it out there, and basically whoever wants to keep up, then you can watch. And of course, I am always down for chatting over like text or anything, but this of course is easiest for me at the moment. So I kind of wrote down some questions that either I thought people that haven't heard from me in a while might ask, or at least would want to know about. So I'm just gonna go based off of this list, and I'm probably gonna do this for at least the first few while I kind of get the hang of this, because this is new territory for me. So again, bear with me. So I am currently in an occupational therapy doctorate program at Mary Baldwin University, which is in Stanton, Virginia. That's the main campus. And my college is the Murphy Deming College of Health Sciences. And our building is located in Fishersville, Virginia. And then I'm living in Waynesboro. So a lot of people don't know where these cities are, these towns, whatever they're considered. Essentially, I'm about 30 minutes west of Charlottesville and about 30 minutes south of Harrisonburg. So I'm out here near JMU and UVA. So yeah, it's a lot different than what I'm used to back at home in Norfolk and Virginia Beach and Chesapeake. But I like it. It's a healthy balance. And it's also out here in the mountains. So I literally always have a beautiful view every single day. So it's currently, I think, August 30th. And I moved out here near like the middle of July. Like July 11th was my move-in day. So I've been here for a little over a month in my apartment. And then my program started on August 19th. That was my orientation day. So I will be going into my third week on Monday. Today is Saturday. So I am going to be here for about 2.5 to 3 years. Normally these programs are like a full 3 years. So I should have technically started in the summer, so like in May, and then I will finish in May of 2028. But starting this year, they changed up the program a little bit, so they condensed it, as in accelerated it. and they had us start in the fall, which was nice to have like the summer off and like not in classes. But yeah, we started August and we'll still graduate in May of 2028. So it's like a semester shorter than a typical doctorate program, but we're still getting 100 credits, still getting 2 full semesters of full-time field work and a full semester for our capstone project. So all the coursework has to be jam-packed into those first few semesters. So I'm looking forward to it, obviously, but it's definitely it's a little bit intimidating. But so I chose this Mary Baldwin occupational therapy doctorate program for a lot of reasons. So for a little bit of backstory or like background information, occupational therapy right now, you still have the option of getting either a master's degree or a doctoral degree. And I was really leaning towards getting just a master's at first, because I was like, less school, yeah, like I don't want to have to do extra school, like for what? So I was actually like hoping to just do a master's and be done so I could like be in the field and just get on with it. But that's not how it worked out. That's not how fate wanted it, and that's just not how it worked out. So out of all of the programs I applied for, which was about 14, some of them were out of state. All of the ones that I got like a full yes, accepted, you're in, all of the ones that I got that answer from were doctoral programs, which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. The master's programs that I applied for either just never responded or waitlisted me. That's just how it worked. So out of the acceptance schools, this was one of the first that I interviewed for and that then accepted me. And I did not know a lot about them at first. I was just like, Mary Baldwin, like private school, Fishersville, like this is all sounding crazy. Like I would never do that. Like that's crazy. However, I ended up working with 2 different people that went through this exact program. One went the PT route and one went the OT route, the exact thing I'm doing. And they are just like so brilliant at what they do, and like their intelligence speaks for themselves and the university, because like just the amount of knowledge that they have about the field and about their patients' conditions and about treatments and like all this stuff. I was just like very impressed just watching them, you know, treat their patients. And so I knew from them, clearly they got a really good education. Okay? And they're both just awesome people. Like, their personalities and who they are, and I don't know, they're just awesome people. Like, as friends and as colleagues, they just kind of like check all the boxes, really. So that's why I even like applied to them in the first place. I was like, you know what, I'll apply to them and see what happens. And then like going through the interview process, their interview was like the only one that took into account like my actual story and like any like personal factors that may have contributed to, you know, bad grades along the line, or, you know, anything that may not have looked as good on paper. They just, you know, they wanted to get to know me as a person rather than just going based off of my records. Like, I just felt very comfortable and seen and heard and like cared about. It was my favorite interview. I had two, so technically my favorite interviews, because there were two different professors. They were my absolute favorite out of all of the ones that I did, because I had a lot going on in my undergrad. So the fact that they asked about that and they listened and acknowledged the difficulty of certain things, like, it just felt very validating. So it was really nice. And then just like doing my own personal research along the way, looking into the courses they offer, like the curriculum, and the fact that they have 100% pass rate for the boards, which is a big deal. Like, all the community involvement that they do and all the opportunities that I'll have for, you know, volunteering and doing service work and presenting and advocating for the field, and just like the list can go on. Like, I don't know, there were things that popped out to me that I like, that stood out compared to the other programs that I was looking at. So that's why I chose them. And you know, they sent me the acceptance letter, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, I got in. But I've never seen the place in person before, so before I give them my deposit, I'm gonna go check it out. And I took a trip out here and, you know, explored the area, looked at my building, looked at apartments, looked at schools, looked at community places, looked at just everything. I looked at everything I could, and I was like, I could see myself living here and being totally fine. So once I established that, then I was like, okay, like, here's my deposit. I'll be coming there. Yeah, it was crazy. And I was like, well, guess I'm gonna be a doctor now. So that was completely by chance. And I could not be happier. with the choice that I made with this school and where I'm at. So I'm really happy about that. I've just been living. Obviously, I've gotten to see the professors that I interviewed with, which has been awesome. One of them I was debriefed on by my coworkers that went through this program. So I had lots of information on him. I made it known, like first class, that like I knew these people, and like I already had some funny information, so we had fun with that. And normally I would never do anything like that. I would never ever approach a professor or just anyone and be like, you know, say something that lets them know that I like basically already know them from another source, because like I'd be all in my head like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be weirded out and whatever. But I was like, you know what, I am here to be out of my comfort zone and just be myself and be weird and be goofy and be unapologetic about it. So I'm just gonna go for it. And I did. And it ended up making him laugh and smile. And let's just say it brought back an old nickname that he hadn't heard in a while. And now like everybody is calling him that again. So it's funny. And it's also like, who am I? Like, I would have never done anything like that pre-therapy, honestly. But, like, coming here, I would have never. And also, like, you know, starting the orientation and all these new classes with all these new people. Normally, I, like, stick to the back of the room or the perimeter of the room, and I kind of, like, read people and wait for them to approach me. And I'm normally like really shy and like more reserved until I get to know the people, and then I come out of my shell. I said, forget that whole first part. We're not doing the show anymore. We don't need the show anymore. Like, you don't need the show. There is no one here that I need the show for. Nor do I need it, period, anymore. Like, this is like the perfect place to like practice stuff like that, because there's no one here that I know from my past that can talk crap about me anymore and make me feel bad about myself for things that I can't help. I can be myself 100% and just start from scratch and just be authentic, and whoever likes it will gravitate towards me, and those will be my people. And whoever doesn't like it, they can stay with their own people. Like, there's a lot of us. There's only 15 of us in the OT cohort for my year. And there's, I want to say like 38 PTs. So when we're all in a room together, looks like a lot of us. Yeah. I think my OT cohort, like, we've all already just kind of clicked for the most part. Like, we've all worked together on things, and we're doing pretty well with that. So, but again, I'm just like, forget the shell, like no more shell. I've been just like initiating conversations with people. I've been like joining conversations with people. Crazy. I've been answering like all the freaking questions in class. Crazy. I'll like talk about something in length during class, like while everyone else is just there like staring at me, listening to me. What? Like, who am I? Or like if we're working in groups, I've always been one to like take charge in group projects, like small group projects. Because I do like leadership positions. It's just like presenting that information is like out of comfort zone. However, whenever we work in small groups and then we have to like present whatever we were working on to each other, I've been the one to like summarize our information to the class. It's just crazy. And I was literally talking to some of my cohort members, and I was like, would y'all believe me if I told you that I'm usually an introvert? And they were like, what? I'm like, yeah. This is very like abnormal, out of my comfort zone for me, but like I like it. I'm like, I don't know, I just feel comfortable here. Like, I feel like I already know you guys. Like, I already feel like, I didn't say all this, but I already feel like I know them. And like the fact that we all have a common goal and like common passions, and we're all nerds basically, you know. All of that like really helps me be able to ditch the show and just be able to just exist and not care about what anyone is thinking. Because I'm like, we're all here for the same reason. We're all here for the same goal. And like I don't feel judged anymore when I am like sharing a bunch of information or answering all these questions. Whereas all my life, it's always been, oh, you're just doing that because you're a teacher's pet, or you're a goody two-shoes, or you're a know-it-all. Like, I'm trying to be better than them. Stuff like that. When in reality, like, it's never been about that. And, like, other people are noticing or, like, recognizing that. Because, first off, we're all adults. I'm not being a kiss ass. And as far as being, like, a goody two-shoes and a know-it-all, of course I want to know not everything, but of course I want to know all of the content. That's how you gain knowledge. That's how you become a good practitioner. That's how you know what you're talking about. I feel like my cohort members recognize, rather than me being a know-it-all and like it being a competition and whatever, it's more, okay, I'm coming into this with a different set of knowledge and different experiences. Cool. I can now use that to help them, and we can all collectively bring our knowledge and experiences, because they're all different. We can all bring them together and like study together and help each other with like, you know, our notes or like understanding what is being taught. Like, I'm just trying to show my professors and my classmates, like, hey, I know this. So if you need help, let me know, because this content, I'm good. I can help you. And then if you're good at something else and I'm not, you can help me. It's a lot different when you're an adult, and I really like it, and it's really, really nice. And I was just tired of the labels, basically the name calling, the whatever, like it being a bad thing that I was good things. And now I can finally embrace those good things, and be around people who share those qualities. And we can like be a bunch of nerds together, essentially. Just all in different ways, because again, we're all coming from different backgrounds. In our work experiences too, like we've all seen different things. And I'm so thankful for the experience that I had working. Well, first interning and then working for such a big but private PT, OT, and speech clinic. I got exposed to a lot of different, you know, medical conditions and treatment interventions and modalities and, you know, different treatment approaches and amazing therapists. And I made some really awesome bonds with some of the patients as well. I miss them so much. But yeah, it was like that whole experience was great, and I'll have to go in more depth on that in another update, because I could just go on about that forever. I miss them like crazy every day. I think about them every day, both the employees and the patients. It was just great. And I'll bring up stuff, you know, in class, just random, you know, things that I've gotten to witness. And they'll be like, how do you know about that? And I'm like, I worked at a PTOT speech clinic I interned for a semester, and then I worked there for a year and a half, and I worked with PTs. So a lot of the knowledge that I gained was more like orthopedic rehab related. But I got to see a lot of like pediatric stuff and, you know, developmental stuff and, you know, even speech related stuff. Like, I don't even know all the adjectives I could use. But like, it was helpful, insightful, resourceful. I don't know. I'm very thankful for it though. I even have experience getting to know about, you know, the eval process and progress note process and discharge process and and I got to see what it was like for documentation, like how they need to like type up certain things, and even like being part of the staff meetings, like insurance stuff, just a lot of that, like behind the scenes, the things that people don't really think of at first when they become practitioners, but like they're really important because like you need to get paid, so you need to get reimbursed by insurance, so you need to like document properly per insurance standards. So anyway, which insurance sucks, but that's a whole other thing. I think that is all that I'm gonna do for this particular update, so that it's not too long, because it's already pretty long as is. But in the next update, I can go more in depth about like where I was working before this, and kind of like backtrack from there. That might be a good idea. And also kind of talk about why I chose OT, because I was on track for PT for a very long time, and I switched up kind of last minute, and there's a lot of reasons why. So I can talk about that a little bit. Like I said, that's what I've got for today. And yeah, hopefully I will just keep doing these either weekly or like every other week, depending on how busy I am. But yeah, I'll probably come up with a few questions like that, or like how I did, at least for the next few times, so that I have some type of structure to go based off of. And then we'll kind of see where it goes from here. But yeah, if anyone ever has questions, I'm also open to that, and I could always add it to whatever I think of. So I don't know, I'm just kind of like taking it, I'm playing it by ear, so we'll see how it goes. I'm really excited about this. I think this is 1000% my element and exactly where I'm meant to be. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next update.